answers for a legally blind woman who tells us her seeing eye dog was nearly attacked by a pit bull inside her Northeast Portland Fred Meyer. She says it is not the first time a non-registered dog has acted aggressively towards her inside that store, which is against store policy. Jessica Morker checked with Fred Meyer spokesperson. She tells us their hands are tied a lot of times in these cases.
That's right, Dan, and I did check with Fred Meyer, and they tell me there is no structure under the American Disabilities Act that helps them make sure only service animals are in stores. But one woman I spoke to says more should be done, and until then, she doesn't feel safe going to her local grocery store.
So it's not safe for a blind person. It's the closest store for me to go to as a blind person.
For Laura Westerhues, her lab golden retriever mix named Carol is her eyes. For years, Carol's guided Laura through the aisles of the Gateway Center Fred Meyer, where only service dogs are allowed. But that's a policy even a store spokesperson says people abuse.
The first one was the Pitbull lunging at my service animal, and then the manager saying there's nothing they can do about it. And I went above him, and the store director said the same thing.
2 months ago, Laura says an aggressive pit bull nearly attacked Carol inside the Fred Meyer. An animal, she says, clearly was not a service dog, which are trained to behave. But we found out, according to the American Disabilities Act, stores can only ask pet owners if their pet is a service animal. If they say yes, they can also ask what tasks the pet performs. But if that's answered, even with a lie, they cannot ask them to leave. You're saying they're not even doing that, right?
They're not doing it.
After 2 more run-ins with unruly dogs, including an incident Laura and a friend say a store greeter witnessed but did nothing, she decided to contact us. She's concerned that Fred Meyer employees aren't even asking the basic questions about guide dogs. I called Fred Meyer spokesperson Melinda Merrill, who tells me by phone if a dog growls, attacks, licks, or sniffs merchandise, it is grounds for removal. Stores are reminded about the service dog policy several times a year, but federal service animal laws have their hands tied. Merrill tells me the store is now reaching out to Laura to address her concerns.
I think that the solution is, it's just like an ID. When you buy cigarettes or alcohol, you pull out an ID and you say, here it is.
So I also asked if store employees can ask for some sort of license or certificate, but the law doesn't even allow for that. Fred Meyer tells me that this is really an issue for local and federal lawmakers to take a look at. Back to you.
I know, Jessica, we sure hear from a lot of people frustrated when they see those animals that are not service animals in stores.